Ace, I've got some audio. Okay. We have a dear friend from my former team, and he can't be here today, but he loves to make us songs. He creates lovely little ditties for us. And I said, hey, I need a holiday jam to go with our caroling theme for Club Copilot. And just in case it auto starts, I wanted the recording on. So let's get that rolling. Yeah. Oh, Carlos, love that you've got that in the chat. Have you ever gone like legit door-to-door caroling? Have we done this? I, I I've never done it, but my child did send me a TikTok that Lindsay would probably, if we were in the same city, Lindsay and I bet you we would do this. It was people dressed up like the founding fathers, door to
Hamilton.
door, singing Hamilton.
I saw that.
And so I mean, I'm here for that. Like let's hit it up. We can perform all the parts, you know? I think it's a good idea. But
I saw a TikTok recently that was the biggest burden, most painful thing is loving the stage and performing, but having absolutely no talent for it. And that resonated so deep with me.
Everybody's got talent. It just comes in different forms,
Not for
you know?
not for the theater that I would love.
All right. So I will play and hopefully everybody can hear it. I mean, this is a bop, guys. You know you want to learn it. Okay. If you weren't able, whoops, if you weren't able to hear it, it may be on your end. Sometimes you have to adjust the sound on your end, but actually, I would love to say that Copilot generated it. We're not quite there yet with Copilot. That is, I believe he created it on Suno. That's what a lot of our friends here at Microsoft use Suno right now. Until we get Copilot doing that, that is like Heather. And again, Lindsay, we are recovering musical theater, addicts,
Rejects.
junkies, whatever you want to call us. And to somebody said rejects, I heard. Um, we're not totally rejects, okay? Like we got parts. Um, but I thought that was a banger. Like that is what we would have sung in choir. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Club Copilot, if this is your first time, we're here for fun and learning. We got to go with the EDU vibe, it's all about like having a good time while we learn. We always kick it off with some in case you were wondering, and Copilot helps create this for us. So, I honestly didn't know why do we go caroling? So I'm sure if you have listened to some Christmas songs, you've heard wassailing, that word. It's one of those you hear and you just don't bother to care what it actually means, but it is there. It's related to caroling. And so Copilot also generated what was kind of cool. It generated for me like a visual timeline, but I ended up going with this one. Um, and if you know what we can do is probably get the words for you for that caroling, Copilot caroling song, and I would be willing to pay somebody $10 because we cannot gift over $10 here at Microsoft. It would be a violation of our gifting policies, but I could gift you $9.99 for you to go out and carol that Copilot song. I don't know if anybody's hurting and you need just $9 extra. I got you. Okay. So consider that. Consider that. But we're going to move on. Reminders and recap, feature of the month, and what's next. We'll get to that really quickly. The purpose. Again, if you've not been with us, we have 2 meetings a month, although I'm going to say it now and then we're going to say it at the end. We only have one meeting in December because the next time is on the 23rd. And so I, it depends on how many people get out there caroling. I see those things in the chat. I'm not a millionaire. I don't know. We'll see. If I get a legit performance, I don't know. I might do it for all the folks. Or yeah, a lottery ticket with the winners. We can get creative. I am not against it. But meeting one of the month, which is the second Tuesday, is listen and learn. So that's much more of us just presenting, sharing, coming to you with some info. The second one we have each month, we call Asks and Answers because Heather loves alliteration. And that one is on the fourth Tuesday of the month. But that's the week of Christmas, and so many of us will be out. We thought, go celebrate. Just like we did miss it last month. For those of you who showed up because you love Club Copilot, we certainly apologize. I just did not get you guys the email. We had talked about canceling it. I said it on the first call, but I know not everybody was able to be on that one. So very much apologize if you showed up, but I guess some folks had, a little chatter, so that's always nice. But this is about you. We don't really get into, we may talk a little bit about technical, we may do a little bit of support, but that's not the focus. That we have another community for that. I'm going to share that on the next slide, but this is to keep you informed. What's new? Copilot is the fastest changing product I've ever seen come out of Microsoft. And every single day we're learning something new with it. If you did miss that November recording, we have a YouTube channel. It is linked there. And Carlos has been a doll. A doll? I don't know that I've called Carlos a doll before.
That's the
Carlos,
first.
a doll, a gem, whatever you want to call him. Carlos made sure that we have these in PDF form already. So you don't have to go through and click on all the links and save them, even though they are live since it is PowerPoint live. You don't have to save all those links. We'll get them to you. We've got an AKA that we will share. It's simple, quick, and easy. We'll get that to you. If folks have not joined, please, please, please share with them the join link. And then, as I mentioned, that National Office Hours, MS National Office Hours community, that's where we get technical. So if you want, that's every Thursday. We do the technical piece of it, but those 3 links above it are great ones to bookmark if you have not yet bookmarked them. And I did all that very quickly because we've got a lot of content, and the feature of the month is Ignite. So y'all are welcome to take over the sharing, because PowerPoint Live lets you do that if you're not using it. We only have one hiccup with PowerPoint Live that we were whining about it, so we're going to continue to whine about it. Who's taking it from me? Someone taking it from me?
I'll
I mean,
let
I can
Lindsay.
keep.
I'll let Lindsay take it away.
Oh, you want
Perfect.
me to take control though?
Yeah, if you don't mind, then
Yeah,
I'll kind of
go
just
for it.
prep it like so. While Lindsay's taking control, while just so everybody knows, there is way, way too much content. We've been so excited about Ignite. We almost skipped Thanksgiving to just catch up and try to make sense of everything that you're seeing in these next 2 slides. You can see some Copilot chat stuff, some agent stuff, some M365 Copilot things. And then this is just like end user type stuff, right? In the next slide, we have more like administrative stuff. if you are an M365 admin or someone who works in IT or trying to make some security decisions and such. There's just so much that was done. There's no way that we can cram 3 days worth of presentations into this one call. Guys, we can take like the next 5 calls and still not cover everything here. So, Lindsay, Heather, myself, Amy, Darren, Dwayne, the whole team kind of got together and tried to kind of pick and choose some of the things that we really thought you guys might want to know. But not to worry, we are going to overload you with endless links in case there's something on this list or in the other list that we didn't cover that you want to make sure that you have access to. So let's kind of dive in, Lindsay. What's the first topic?
Awesome. Well, first, I want a moment for my segue. Deck the halls with brand new features. Alternate caption was gonna be "We wish you a merry upgrade" or "Ringing in new bells and features." So just don't forget about the
Nice.
theme here. So first, we're gonna talk about some updates in Copilot Chat. So this is the free version or the version that is going to be included with your Microsoft subscription of A3, A5, etc. We'll try to be pretty clear moving forward of what's in the free licensing versus what's in the upgrade paid version. So with Copilot Chat, we now have the ability to create pages, but there have been some updates on the creation of pages. So essentially what you can do is you've got the ability to create these dynamic interactive pages directly from your ideas or your prompts. So for education clients, this could mean faculty, staff, students could quickly transform some concepts into actual shareable web pages with no coding required. It's going to leverage advanced AI reasoning to help you build those interactive reports. It's going to help you visualize data and help prototype some new ideas, which is super exciting. And I will hit play here. Really, this just plays music. I think I'm not going to hit play. I take it back. I changed my mind. We're not going to hit play, but you can watch it later. This just kind of shows you a quick little overview of where to navigate to find pages. As we talk about some of the new updates within pages, visualization was mentioned earlier. So as we just said, Copilot Pages, code-free creation tool within Copilot. When it comes to visualization, this is going to help you, again, visualize what you're looking to do without having that coding background. It's going to help turn these ideas into, really conceptualize, physical things for teams to review and work on together. It's going to be using the latest model of GPT-5 and Copilot in the web tab. So again, it's part of the free version. One thing, for instance, could be, let's say you wanted to explain maybe your school's environmental strategy. So with Copilot Pages, you could prompt Copilot to help you build that interactive UI for a web page that's going to visually break down the strategy, making it easy for others to grasp that concept and see those data points. Another big thing is page history. I know sometimes if you're maybe sharing a Word document with a peer and then you come back in and all of a sudden all these changes have been made or something important got deleted. Well, now with Copilot and Pages, you can see the page history. So if somebody accidentally deletes something, you can very quickly go back and see the latest version before the deletion was put into play. So it's going to give you that confidence and control at every step, whether you're manually editing or having Copilot edit for you or kind of collaborating together. This is going to help you make sure you've got all that history in a page together. I think I've got 2 more. Again, the ability to export it. So now we've done all this work in a page. I've made this cool website, but now I want to tie it into my PowerPoint presentation that I'm showing leadership. I'm going to talk about the environmental impact that I just created. Well, now I want that to be brought in. So this can be exported very easily into a Word document or PowerPoint. Again, helping be more efficient, not having to navigate separately between apps or do any manual copying, pasting, or things like that. Again, it's available in the free version. It's rolling out to the Copilot app within Windows and Mac users as well. So keep an eye out for that. And the last thing that I was going to talk about, this one I will hit play on. I can minimize the sound, but we've talked about the Teach module that is included. So if you're in your Copilot app in the education environment, you'll actually see the Teach on the left-hand side. So you'll have it where you see like chat, calendar, calls, new chat, etc. It's going to be there. And there's a new update to that with quiz creation. So using forms on the back end and using Copilot and AI and all that fun stuff, teachers are going to be able to create quizzes right there within Copilot. Again, no extra paid license available, which is super exciting. We played around with it earlier, and what's really cool is that it's going to be able to, the teacher can select the state that they're in, so it can then pull in the state legislation mandates for curriculum requirements. So if I'm in Texas, 9th grade, teaching algebra, I want to make sure that I download the TEKS, the Texas state requirements for that. That's going to be automatically tied in now. So instead of me having to go do that manual process, it's tied right in. I can select my subject, my grade level, language, relevant standards, and it's going to be able to help curate some quiz content, which is really exciting. And if you go to ak.ms/teach, it's rolling out now, and you can start playing around with it. I think, Carlos, that ends the updates we were going to focus on today for the free version. Again, team, there's been more updates. We can't go through everything today, but I'm going to let Carlos take over now, or Amy, as I think Amy's doing it next, on some of the updates within M365 Copilot, so the paid version now.
Perfect. And while Amy goes and takes control, one of the things I put onto the chat is you're going to hear in a lot of our documentation, or a lot of blogs in there, these kind of a little phrase called vibe working. Just in case you haven't heard of the of vibe coding, for example, it's pretty popular. I will tell you, many years ago, I used to call myself a semi-coder and was pretty dangerous, and I forgot it all. And now the concept of using Copilot and other tools to actually code and basically talk to it and prompt my way through. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish, and having it create a code for me. That's what vibe coding is, right? It speeds up the whole process. You don't have to be an expert in coding a certain way. So now imagine that whole concept around working, right? This is what we're doing right now. We're vibe working with Copilot. We're speeding up the process, the collaboration process with pages and all the cool things that Lindsay was talking about. Amy.
Are you ready?
Yeah. What do you
All
got?
right, let's go on to the next slide. All right, we're shifting gears. So now we're talking about all things that are new with M365 Copilot, which is that paid version, that additional license that you need. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is Teams mode for Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is really cool. So within Teams, in your group chats, you can actually invoke Copilot by typing the @ symbol and then the name Copilot. And it's like at mentioning a colleague or a teammate. It pulls up Copilot and you can ask questions about your chat. You can ask it to summarize things. You can ask it for new content, and it'll create it right there in the flow of work in your group chats. Super awesome. I love it. All right. Teams Phone. I love Teams Phone. I was supported this last year, and so I'm super excited to see this. For now, with Teams Phone, when you're making a PSTN call, so not necessarily your peer-to-peer calls, but when you're actually using your Teams Phone to dial out to an outside line, like a mobile phone or a landline, after that call is over, you'll now can use Copilot to create summaries, understand the conversation, and then pass that on to the next person. I think this is super valuable in places where there's agents answering calls, like a call queue, and they need to pass that information on to maybe the next level or to somebody else. They can quickly summarize that conversation and pass it on, and the next person doesn't have to spend a lot of time getting caught up on the conversation. So using Copilot inside a Teams phone, very valuable. All right, let's see. Outlook. So many new features in Outlook. So you're going to see coming soon this voice experience where you can actually hands-free have Copilot on your mobile app, do things like replying to emails, deleting, archiving, all of these things that are hard to do when you're driving, you can now do on your mobile phone just by talking to your and using voice commands. This one tap prompts in iOS and Android. I'm seeing this now. Carlos and I tested this earlier, so this one is starting to become available, where you can actually when you click the Copilot button in the bottom corner, it'll actually pop up some actions for you to do, some quick like summarize and reply, some quick things that you can do just with the tap of a button. So efficient on your mobile phone, and it's going to come to Windows and web as well.
And then smart scheduling. If you haven't already seen this, this is available today where you can schedule meetings via chat. So if you're in Copilot and you're chatting with somebody and you tell, or you're in a chat and you tell Copilot, please schedule a meeting with, and then you mention that person's name, it'll actually help you find those times, schedule that room, even draft agendas. Very powerful using Copilot directly or using Outlook directly inside of Copilot. And that is available today. Excuse me. And then this conflict resolution is also available today. I'm seeing this in Outlook where it'll actually, there's a little toggle button when you create an invitation for a meeting that says, do you want Copilot to automatically reschedule this meeting if there's conflicts? So you can quickly just toggle that switch and it'll automatically reschedule your meeting if it finds that somebody has a conflict during that time that you scheduled. All right, notebook enhancements. I know, Marge, you were asking about some notebook things earlier. So we've got some new enhancements coming, like that video overview that you were asking about, that is coming. I can't give you an exact timeline of when that's coming, but it is coming. That's one of my new favorite features of notebooks, as well as my second favorite is this sharing and co-authoring of notebooks. So today you create a notebook, it's just for you, you use it yourself, personal productivity. In the future, you'll be able to share and co-author within those notebooks. So collaboration, taking it to the next level. Some other things that are in there too, smart references, overview page. Notebooks is just getting more powerful every day. So if you haven't tried that tool out yet, please, I do recommend you taking a look at that. Ooh, this is a good one. Sora 2, now available as our large language model for creating videos. I don't think this is available yet. Carlos and I were playing with this earlier today, but hopefully this is coming really soon. The videos are going to be amazing. I can't wait to see this. Best part about this, enterprise security. So all of that information, all that large language model is being hosted within Microsoft. So all of those security policies are going to be respected. And there will be an admin control. So if administrators want to disable that, they will be able to. And it will be part of the Frontier program. So if you're not part of the Frontier program, another program that I definitely recommend you get involved in, I think it's just a toggle switch inside the M365 Admin Center, gets you access to all of those Frontier features that we're rolling out, all of those Frontier agents. You got to be part of that. You want to be on the cutting edge. All right, is that it? Oh, last one. Or is this,
Yep,
are we jumping to you, Carlos?
Yep.
All right, cool. We are flying through this.
I know we are, and I'm gonna actually pause for 1 second because there was an interesting question that was brought up over here from Juan, Amy, around are there any privacy concerns on the Teams phone and Copilot side of the house?
I'm not sure what you mean. What kind of privacy concerns they mean? Throw something more in the chat, and I'll answer it from the chat.
Perfect. Yep. Feel free to do that, Juan. Awesome. Heather, go ahead.
Wait, yeah, really quickly before you get started, there's always a joke, obviously, anybody who's used Outlook for years, and if you watch memes and reels on social media, Outlook and finding the documents or the emails that you want don't always cooperate just as well as you want. But Lindsay's dropped in there what she uses when she's looking for specific emails. And, one of the things that I think will be helpful, and I'm just going to say this now for everybody, whether it's for these listen and learn sessions and also for our Q&As, the asks and answers, we definitely want your best practices. We want you to share. We're in talks with some different folks to bring some things to the table. But if you've got strategies that you're using in any of the tools, you don't necessarily just have to put them in the chat. We've done in different things, community showcases where you showcase like the prompt that you're using that's giving you success. Drop those in our team and then we can come and do that. So I wanted to throw that in simply because, Lindsay gave her strategy for that. And that is by far learning the right prompts is the best way, clearly the best way to access the information that you want. Because I've struggled too in Outlook. One of the ways I've been starting to use it is like I get the long emails and I'm like, I don't have the time to read this. So I ask Copilot, like, find me the action items that relate to my position as a CSA manager, or, is my name in here or whatever it may be. And that way it's narrowing things down for me. But we will do sessions where we can share, but please, please, please also give us those ideas. Like, this is what I'm trying to do and I'm unable to. We've done scenario discovery and we can continue to do that, but we need to know what you want to discover. So I know that was a little side tangent, but Carlos hadn't started that, and Lindsay, I just saw her post, which kind of kick that off. So please, 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 please keep giving us that information. All right, back to you, Carlos.
Before we talk about agents and some of the stuff that was announced by agents, I'm just going to double down on the awesomeness of what I just heard from Amy. There's a couple of things I just really want to just emphasize because this is super cool. The concept of having Copilot in one-on-one chats is phenomenal. Like a little kind of mini agents in there that I can go and we can talk to and have it do separate things. The other one that really intrigues me. I'm a PC guy. I like working on a laptop. I can work on a Mac. I can work on anything, right? But I could also work on my phone. Could I survive on my phone? Yes. Do I want to survive on my phone? No. Um, and that is one of those things where I am blown away by all the features with Copilot of what you can do built into the Office applications on your phone. So definitely take a look at that. All right, let's talk about agents. All right, so first of all, we have this thing that was announced, which was agent mode, right? So this is a new Copilot feature in Word and Excel, PowerPoint that works inside of the app and helps you create, edit, and format content step by step, right? So here's some examples like in Word. It can pull context from your files, from emails, meetings, help you draft accurate documents, right? While it may be in Excel, it's a little bit different. It could bring in external data and help organize it into tables or charts that you already have with a current Excel sheet. In PowerPoint, it could update your slides using your school's template or rewrite text or add images and even build new presentations from your existing work. For example, like we saw inside of Pages, or even web resources, right? So tons and tons of things coming in there where that sidebar, that Copilot chat aspect of it within agent mode, it's going to be so much more powerful. But there's a lot of agents that were announced, and I love this because what I'm seeing is like Microsoft is building as many templated agents as possible that we think, hey, there's a ton of schools and businesses that can really leverage these kinds of things. And then we have customers that are taking what we build and making it better, personalizing it more, or even going out there and creating their own stuff. And here's some kind of examples of some of the new agents that we wanted to call out. These are straight from Ignite. They were introduced. These are three new AI-powered agents: Workforce Insights, People Agent, and Learning Agent. And we'll go one by one and kind of dive just a little bit deeper into them. But basically, they're built on that same intelligence layer from Copilot, right? So, Workforce Insights is going to focus on leaders and help them make data-driven decisions with real-time workforce analytics, right? So, you have People Agent that's going to really help you connect with other colleagues. And then maybe my favorite is Learning Agent, which is focused on delivering a very, very personalized experience, whether it's courses or AI skill training or professional or personal growth. Even something as like, I'm not going to call it silly because it's actually really important, but even something like soft skills, it can definitely help you through that. But there's a caveat, right? All of these agents today are part of the Frontier program. This is what you heard Amy talking about a little bit earlier. You need to have that Frontier program turned on in order to have access to this, and it'll make it discoverable to your end users as well. So let's kind of dive into these just a little bit in here. Let's start off with the People Agent. Every institution is completely different. A K-12 versus a higher education versus a full-blown business or enterprise. environment. And one of the things that we can at least all agree on is that everybody has different skill sets. Everybody has different specialties, right? So the people agent helps you quickly find and connect with colleagues, with other people, bringing everybody together based off of people related information. So think about this for a second. How many times have we been looking for, like, oh, I need somebody to go and code something for me. Who knows how to code? Hey, I need a specialist that understands Copilot Studio because I am more of a Copilot Studio Lite. I want a full-blown Copilot Studio person that can help me with this. Or maybe I just want somebody who is going to go and fix all of my grammatical mistakes that I'll maybe put on there in my paper or my email or whatever it might be. These are all different things that you can go and you can easily find. Maybe I want somebody that focuses on a specific project. Let's just call it Project Falcon within your institution, right? So it'll tell you everybody who's been working on Project Falcon. So this is a great kind of conversational agent where you can just start asking questions, find work patterns. This is tailored specifically to you and what you have access to and people that you've been interacting with, but also just from an organizational perspective, it helps you like spend a ton of less time searching and focus on building more meaningful connections with other people or new people. In this case. So this is available today with M365 Copilot licenses, customers that are a part of that Frontier program. The next agent was the learning agent. So I talked a little bit about this already, where this is focused on personalized recommendations specifically for your role and your task, right? This could be trainings, this could be things that you have to do, or things that you're interested in as well, right? So it's going to kind of keep you up to speed. Once again, it's very, very tailored to you and who you are and your role and your job, backed up by LinkedIn Learning, backed in by maybe some internal resources as well. So this is very, very helpful. This is something that is available also today. And you guys will be able to, as long as you're part of that Frontier program, you should be able to have access to that learning agent. All right, so the last one here of the three that I really want to talk about is workforce insights agents. So this is a agent that is really targeted and geared toward leaders, managers, people who basically work on delegating real-time comprehensive information to others, right? So this is an organizational type agent where basically it understands your role, the tenure, the location, what functions others are doing or should be doing. You can go and ask it any types of questions. I think a basic example for me would be, I will tell you in Microsoft, we have training that we have to accomplish by a certain amount of time. As a manager, maybe Heather wants to know, give me a list of the employees who have not completed their training, knowing that the training is due next week. So she can give them a little friendly nudge. Hey, don't forget to get this on time, right? This could also help with planning a reorg. It could help in monitoring hiring trends. It could help identify opportunities, improve or organizational hygiene. I know that's like one of those words that means like a little bit something different for everybody, but tons of great resources here from a workforce insights that this agent can go and provide. Once again, also part of the Frontier program. So please make sure you guys have that turned on so you can see some of this. You can have access to everything, or you can pick and choose which agents you want to go and play with. A couple more things that I wanted to bring up over here. Amy mentioned it earlier. So Amy and I were talking, and this is one that really grabbed our attention. This was the workflows agent. So one of the things that we've known about agents, specifically around Copilot Studio, is if you know and understand flows, more specifically Power Automate, for example, and you have an idea of, hey, I want this agent to accomplish this, and if it answers it this way, do this, and if it does that, then do something else. If you understand flows, you can create some really powerful agents. But not everybody understands Power Automate or has kind of gone and done a deep dive into Power Automate. So this is a great engine, a great agent. It's also an engine that can go in there and basically using natural language, you can talk to it and tell it the type of flow that you want it to create. This could be repetitive tasks around anything M365, like Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, Planner, you name it. It's just using simple prompts and it's creating and it allows you to test it and you can monitor the workflow as well. And this could also be tied with graph data if you're an M365 Copilot, licensed user in there. So it really helps you go and create these flows, and you can bring these flows into things like Copilot Studio and other programs. Okay, let me make sure I didn't skip one. I just want to go back really fast on one. Yeah, okay. So we just went over a ton of things, and one of the things that we put into the chat a little bit earlier was a link that has access, and I'll give you guys I'll put it up here in just a second, that has access to all of the all of the slides in there. We PDF'd everything because we wanted you to have access to slides like this one right here. So we just did a massive collection of everything related with Ignite, some of the key announcements if you wanted to dive in deeper into some of the stuff that you heard, but also some of the stuff that maybe we have not covered. So we put in there, just resources. There's one of two. There's another second page over here, and you can just kind of hover over everything. Don't feel like you have to go and click on it. I know I'm that person that does that in a call. I'll start clicking on everything because I want to make sure I don't lose it. But we're going to give you the link right now to have access to everything. But before we do that, Amy, I see that you edited this one. I'm gonna go and pick on you. Do you wanna build an agent, or are we going with the Frozen
Oh, come
theme
on, you
here?
got to sing it the right way.
I,
Do
I
you want to build an agent?
Yep,
Or-
that's how it sounded in my head too. Um, I love it. So this is, and everybody's different. Everybody has different learning styles. And I call this I'm gonna call this section important stuff that you need to know, but you don't have time to review and read all of it, right? I think we can grab that like phrase and bring it into everything that we do within our job. There's always stuff that gets sent to you, and you're like, oh, that's really important, but I don't have time right now. But there's like one or two questions that maybe you want to go in and you want to ask it. So what I want to do here is I'm gonna actually go, and Amy, if you don't mind, and I haven't kept up with the chat, if you don't mind, just so we have it in the chat as well, can you copy and paste the description and the instructions? So
Yes.
for Ignite, one of the first things that we did, I know I did this, was as soon as we got our hands on the book of news, if you're unfamiliar with what I'm saying with the book of news, God, Amy, how many pages? I haven't even looked to see. It's way too many.
So many.
Um, it's like a massive, massive PDF of endless information of everything that was announced in Ignite, and it's almost like the source of truth for all things Ignite. However, nobody really has time to read all of this. And sometimes some of us are specialized in Azure. Some people are specialized in, hey, I just want to know what they mentioned around Word, or I work in Teams. Tell me everything that was announced with Teams or everything that was announced with Copilot. So what we do is we create an agent as quickly as humanly possible, and we ground it on this. And what I did was I put in here the instructions. Feel free to copy those instructions. Once again, we're going to give you access to everything. So if you don't want to copy it now, that's okay. We put a simple description and the knowledge source. So I'm going to stop sharing. Um, Actually, no, I'm not going to stop sharing. And then you can actually go into Copilot Studio Lite. And this is inside of M365 Copilot. Even if you're not licensed, keep me honest here, Amy, a regular non-licensed person can go in there because all we're doing is we're grounding it on this one web source,
Correct.
right? So this is something that students can do. This is something that faculty and staff can do, and use those basic that basic description, those basic instructions. Feel free to modify that however you want. But I do this to just say, tell me everything that was mentioned on this topic. Explain this to me, right? And it does a masterful job uh, in there. So we wanted to make sure everybody was able to go and create an agent. In there, you don't need to have the Frontier program in order to do this. This is inside of Copilot Studio Lite. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with Copilot Studio Lite, I'm sorry. It was called Agent Builder a month ago. And now the official name is Copilot Studio Lite. So this is something that hopefully everybody has access to. All right, and this is I'm going to put this one more time into I'm going to put that one more time into the chat. Make sure that everybody can see that. This is where you can get a copy of every single slide. Not something that we do for every single Club Copilot call, but this was one of those ones where we felt like it was just so much information. And I know that we went fast, but we want to make sure you guys had full access to that. Okay. Before I go to the next section, I just want to make sure, Amy, do you see any burning questions, anything that anybody said that we definitely want to address?
No, I think we've got it all handled.
Awesome.
Lots of questions about message packs and Pago and handling that.
Gotcha.
Budgets and things like that.
I see Dwayne got into the chat.
He
So
did.
Dwayne was double booked, so he couldn't make it today. So hopefully we'll have him back for the next call. But he was definitely dying to go and talk about it, and he did mention something in here. I think somebody was having some questions around Claude and Anthropic and some of the announcements around that. So that is very, very high on our list of things to cover next month. So here's a little sneak peek. Amy kind of threw this in at the last second, and we're like, we should save this for next call next month. And then we realized, the holidays are kind of semi-over. So a little sneak peek into our next call. We are going to go real deep into Create. So if you want to get a little creative for the holidays, like it says on this slide over here, I strongly recommend within the M365 Copilot chat, there's a nice little module in there, I believe, Amy, that says Create that you can click on. All of the education tenants just recently got a lot of, I'm going to call them gifts. They weren't there. Dwayne, I know for a fact because Dwayne and I and Amy are on a separate chat where and Darren, I think, was on there as well, where we all just got mad because Enterprise got everything first, and none of these awesome create type features were coming into the education tenants. And then recently they just slipped them in there, and we're like high-fiving each other just in time for the holidays. So great opportunity here to create some holiday cards, stickers. Amy, you created these, didn't you?
What? So in full transparency, I didn't create all of them.
Oh, okay.
I created the one at the bottom corner that says "Have yourself a merry little Copilot." But these were created as part of a challenge for Microsoft employees, part of our Customer Zero adoption team that we're on, to create there were 3 challenges. One was to create a holiday card using the Create app in Teams for Christmas, or the holidays. And there was a prompt that they gave us that we could use or tweak whatever we wanted to do. But that's where those first two holiday cards came from. And then the challenge for this week is to create a holiday sticker using Copilot. So, these are challenges that we actually get prizes for. So I'm hoping, we'll see if my sticker wins or not.
If I can upvote it, you let me know. I will.
Well, so the one that's above it, that Copilot, I can explain. I really loved that one, and so when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to include this one too." But so I think it's going to be between the two of us, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Gotcha. That Copilot, I can explain. That's how
it's pretty funny.
House, that's pretty accurate in the Fernandez household right now of what we're doing. All right, so here is what we have. We want to make sure everybody has all of the right information. Our next meeting is going to be January 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be in the same format. I'm looking over here. I don't see a slide, so I will I'll give you a little sneak peek since we already mentioned Create. I believe, do not quote me on this, I believe the club is going to be called Creators Club. So that'll give you a little sneak peek of some of the deep dives that we're going to have in there of everything that you can do within Create with Club Copilot. Once again, January 13th at 4 p.m. hopefully this was helpful. We are going to stick around. We're going to look at the chat. Hey, by the way, there was a great question that was asked there at the end, Amy, by Cordell. But
Yep.
we want to make sure you guys are heard. There was a ton of information. We didn't cover everything. We were just trying to hit some major highlights. We also focused on what I'll say is end user type type features. So if you're like an admin or you're really managing some of this stuff, we kind of try to stay away from it just because it's a little bit more detailed, but happy to definitely talk about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email or just let us know. And Rob, I see you send an invite to folks for 113. You got that. Heather is the invite queen. I'll call her the calendar queen. So we will make sure that that goes through. Could not last time. Gotcha. Yep, and we made some cancellations because of that. All right. Looks like we're gonna give some people some time back.
Yeah. Well, there's one more question.
There you go.
Frontier or NGA for EDU? Are the Word, Excel, PowerPoint agents mode supposed to be in EDU tenants yet? Or are they Frontier? They're Frontier.
They're Frontier.
Yeah.
They're rolling out slow. Some things are out right now. Other things are expected to come out in the January timeframe. So kind of expecting that January timeframe. Geez, that's like 20 days away. That's insane. There's going to be a lot more things coming that are going to be released. So just kind of take a look at that. But yep, definitely everything's going to be in Frontier for the most part. Is Frontier really easy as flipping the switch on, no contracts? Yes, Tony. There's Amy and I, we run our own tenants. It's very simple to go in there and turn that on. This is not at any additional cost. This is already part of what you're currently invested in with M365 or M365 Copilot. It is more of, think of this as really, really cool things. There's some organizations that are wanting to move really fast with AI. They see the value, they're ready to go, but we wanted to be careful. There's some things that we think like this is something that everybody needs, and we kind of do think everybody does need this. However, not everybody's ready for it. So this is a good opportunity for Microsoft to basically say, hey, when you're ready, when you feel like you want to test some of these frontier agents out, all you got to do is flip that on.
Yep. And I did put a screenshot kind of further up in the chat of what the screen looks like to enable Frontier. And it really is just a switch. And you can enable it for, certain users or everyone. So really easy. Well, I don't see any other questions,
Perfect.
Carlos.
All right. So we'll give everybody about 10 minutes back. Guys, have a safe, very, very safe and hopefully peaceful holiday season. Spend some time with families, with your furry friends, with with your neighbors, and wish everybody the absolute best. And just in case you don't hear from us, geez, I can't believe I'm going to be saying this right now. Happy New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy holidays. Have a great break if you get to take a break during those holidays. I know I'll be taking some time off. So
Recharge.
we'll see you after the new year. Heck yeah.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.